quick. You just have 24 hours this time tomorrow to make more money as a DoorDash Dasher. What do you do? Well, you watch this video, because in this video, I'm going to help you out. 7 simple hacks to make more money driving for DoorDash in 24 hours. Oh, and updated for late 2022 and 2023. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, having the same strategy for tips included and tips not included. Now, you may be thinking, what do you mean tips not included? Don't I always see the customer tips when I'm getting the customer request? I mean, yeah, most everyone, the order is going to look like this. It says the DoorDash pay and the customer tips. But newer programs, in their own examples, DoorDash has shown order requests that don't show the customer tip. It's going to say the DoorDash pay plus customer tips. That kind of reminds me actually of the now acquired Postmates platform that didn't even show you anything, if you can imagine, when you get the order request. So what that does is it adds ambiguity. So hey, that $8, yeah, it might be $13, $14 after that tip, or it might just be $8 because you don't get any tip. So just keep that in mind. Number 2, not understanding the most up-to-date strategies when it comes to bonus pay incentive programs. Now, I did an entire video on these 3 bonus programs: Top Dasher, Accept More, Earn More, and Earn by Time. Funny thing is, those last 2 DoorDash said would most likely run through the end of September. Well, we still have it here in October. So again, this is the place you're going to want to subscribe. I'll keep you in the know with the gig economy apps and platforms. So you can watch that video after this one if you want to go into the deep strategy. But generally, Top Dasher, you can use Dash anytime. For areas that have peak pay but tend to fill up with Dashers, you can reserve a spot with Top Dasher. Accept More, Earn More gets you access to higher paying orders, but if you have to accept at least 50% of orders, well, 50% of orders better be worth it in your marketplace for this to be worth it. And Earn by Time, you can only decline once per hour, but you get a guaranteed pay. But I mean, here in Pittsburgh, it's $12.25 per hour. So I'd only use this as a last case scenario. If you have to drive, you're not activated on any other apps. Number 3, speaking of bonus pay, please don't drive. Really try not to drive without bonus pay, usually peak pay as a Dasher. Because DoorDash pays you $2 to $10 on their base pay, plus promotions, plus tips. And I'll tell you that base pay is usually like $2 to $4, maybe $5. If you don't have bonus pay, peak pay, then it's only base pay plus customer tips, and compile that with, well, I hope I can even see those customer tips. Number 4, commuting to a different zone to Dash that's really more than 15 minutes away, unless it's for positioning and or bonus pay, the peak pay strategies, and or if you're driving from a rural market into city central, because that's where more power strips, restaurants, and customers are. Because think of this, if you drive more than 15 minutes away to a zone, and especially, I mean, compound that if you're only going to be there like an hour or two, you're not going to dash like 3, 5+ hours, then you're just going to have to come back anyway. If you're doing a 20-minute commute, let's say, well, you're coming 20 minutes back. It better be worth it. Again, a good amount of order volume, peak pay. There's got to be a reason why you're driving that far away. Number 5, just a reminder as the fundamentals, don't drive around looking for orders. It's increasing the expenses. So you're going to have your revenue minus your expenses equals your take home, like your actual net operating revenue. So minimize your expenses. Please do not drive around looking for orders. Find a power strip. Those are areas that are really dense with restaurants. You park, sit, and wait for an order. Number 6, that is very relevant right now, late 2022, going into 2023. And I anticipate even more changes with these bonus programs that I do feel like will end sometime this year. And I'm betting we're going to get a different iteration in 2023, is using your reserved cancellations. Now, this might be pretty surprising, but you can cancel up to 20% of the orders that you've already accepted. You can cancel them until you really have to start worrying about deactivation at that 80% completion rates per DoorDash's deactivation policy. Now, I don't think you should be really canceling 20% of orders, but you have a strong pool that you can cancel. Now, why would I cancel? So there's an emergency, right? The restaurant wait time is taking too long. What is that? About 15 minutes or longer. So the 15 minutes, that's a gray zone. You have to think in your head, how good is this order that I've accepted? If I go offline, can I get another order that's obviously, hopefully better and I don't have to wait that long? And or am I multi-apping? So am I driving on different apps at the same time to select the best order for me? So I can keep that app open, and if I get a better order, like it's right there on Grubhub, let's say $20 for like 4 miles, it's a no-brainer, then reserve your cancellations, cancel it. And hey, if you're saying, well, I'm not activated on Grubhub, then there's your call to action to get activated on Uber Eats and Grubhub. And honestly, any other big food delivery apps in your marketplace, it's free to do, might as well do it. But if you're only on DoorDash, doesn't matter. Same thing. Reserve your cancellations, because I don't want you standing there for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I've done it, and it's just eating into your earnings per hour. If you have a marketplace that does have that earn by time, or frankly, any guaranteed pay incentive, and it says you can only cancel, X amount of times in an hour, you really have to think about, is it worth it to take X request to satisfy the hourly rate? Listen to this again, because if I'm, in the last 10 minutes of the hour, but I get a request that I have to accept because I've already, let's say, declined one in the hour, but what if it's like $5 because it's that base pay that we talked about, no bonus pay, no tips, it's like $5, but it's like 18 miles away. And per DoorDash's terms of the deal, you have to accept it. I need to ask you, is it really worth it to just knock yourself way out of the marketplace, 18 miles away, more miles on the vehicle? You're going to have to come back versus canceling, taking the hits, and accepting another order, and chances are you can earn more per hour anyway than the guarantee on earn by time. And number 7, a very powerful peak pay bonus strategy that I've been saying for years, because statistically this is what I found. Comment below if you agree with this one. And by the way, consider dropping a like on this video. Subscribe. We'll love to have you here, a part of the team. I help you make money in different side hustles. But this tip, it's to not drive on maximum peak pay. Now listen, hey, what's the max peak pay in your marketplace? Please comment down below. Is it $2, $3? I had someone tell me $10 peak pay. I saw $5 or $6 peak pay when I was doing this out in San Diego. It's going to vary based on your marketplace. Now, the hack is, do not always chase that $6, $5, whatever it is, peak pay. Because, going to our other point here of not commuting too far away, there's that too, but other drivers are going to see that juicy $6 peak pay. I'm going to make bank. This is the shift. I'm going to make 38 an hour. It's going to be crazy. Well, other drivers are going to be thinking the same thing as you and possibly chasing that zone, commuting just for that zone, just to get that $6 peak pay, flooding in more drivers. And I'm not saying that you can't make great money on max peak pay. I've done it, but I need you to think, well, if I just drive on like 90% or 85% peak pay, I'm not going to chase the $6. There's a $4.50 peak pay over here. Well, when everyone's looking at this shiny object, you might be able to make statistically more money per hour than everyone chasing this on that lower peak pay. So simply put, I hope these 7 tips help you make more money as a DoorDash Dasher. If these tips and more here on the channel, do so. Comment down below. Again, drop a like on this video. If you got value, consider subscribing. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.